Anyway, let me introduce my guest tonight on this frivolity. I've got a senator here tonight, and I'm very proud to have her. We've talked several times.
When a handicapped child, for instance, I did find some very
double and triple advantage. Number one, you can read it.
So the knots are secure.
Anyway, let me introduce my guest tonight.
And welcome to the Volver Shop for Oz show. Volver's gotten younger and better looking, but you know who's still very, very good? Jay Buckey, Marty Warburton.
Hey,
Gosh,
bluegrass
guys.
rules.
Hey, bluegrass does rule, and one of the cool things, an ex-girlfriend of mine told me about this wonderful movie, but even better soundtrack. And wow, this movie.
It's put bluegrass music on the map. In fact, I bought the soundtrack before I actually went and seen the movie.
And I wrote it.
He wishes he wrote it.
But why did the Coen Brothers movie all of a sudden why did the soundtrack do better than virtually any other soundtrack in many years? Is it bluegrass? Is it just
Well,
the
I
quality?
think it's politics, don't you?
No, it's not politics.
I mean, bluegrass music has always been around, and it's really what Hollywood wants. You know, if they want Britney Spears or they want rock and roll, then that's going to be in the forefront. But every so often they get.
You know what? I think
music
it's
out
because people have been inundated with Britney Spears and all the other stuff, and they're ready for some roots music. In fact, that's what they're calling it, is roots music. And
Yeah, so it's not bluegrass. It's kind of more considered.
yeah.
And let's play some samplings from that soundtrack and just kind of some sample songs.
Yeah.
Well, Marty, your lead. Where do you want to go?
Oh, everybody always wants to hear "Man of Constant Sorrow," but as simple as that song sounds, that's a tough one to sing. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics behind that, and George Clooney did a real good job.
He did not sing on that.
No, he didn't sing that.
But I don't know. Can we try that?
I'm a man of constant sorrow.
Play a few bars. I'll sing a verse of it. Yeah. I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised.
Tremendous.
But that song.
Before the movie, I would have appreciated, and that was great. But it's amazing how a movie and listening to the soundtrack can give you a new appreciation for maybe a musical style that I wasn't. Funny,
Right.
music is larger, or movies are larger than life.
Well, the good thing about that movie, in my opinion, was Ralph Stanley, who's, like Jay said, he's been around for 100 years almost, and he got some recognition during the Grammy Awards, and it's good to see people that have been around for a long time to get their due. And it tickles us because we've been playing it all this time, and it's good to see them.
And bluegrass music is American music. You know,
Yeah,
it's acoustic. We're not plugged in at all. We got a microphone here, but it's
And that didn't come till about 8 seconds before airtime.
That's right. And it's just good, clean music. We go to these bluegrass festivals, and they're family oriented. The families, they bring their kids, dogs sometimes, and they just have a good time.
Yeah, you go to a bluegrass festival and you'll see a 90-year-old guy sitting next to a 17-year-old kid, and they're both having just as good a time.
And I got a
as each
feeling
other.
there's no bad words in bluegrass.
No, but there's a lot of dark subjects. Murder is a big one.
Mayhem.
Train wrecks, unrequited love, things like that. And so a lot of and dead mother songs, things like that. But the thing is, it's music from the soul. These people, in the Appalachians, they wrote what they knew. They wrote what they felt, and there was hard times.
So bluegrass really is the original American musical styling.
It's part of it.
Yeah, it's an outcropping of it.
And not being a musicologist, I would guess that jazz, or kind of New Orleans jazz, is also a pretty original art form.
I would agree with
You
that.
see, back in the 40s, Bill Monroe, who's called the father of bluegrass music, he just took some basic, simple chords. He played the mandolin, and he basically took old country-style music and made it faster, gave it a nice upbeat. And a lot of kids like that because they like fast music.
Sure.
Instead of punk, now we got bluegrass.
And Marilyn Monroe is the mother.
Marilyn
of
Monroe
bluegrass
is the
music,
mother.
yeah,
It's the mother of all bluegrass. Why don't you guys, gentlemen, go ahead and play
Yeah, let's
something.
play something.
How about Fireball Mail?
Fireball Mail.
good. But
Yeah.
you've got to learn some camera savvy. You got to turn open to the camera to get that close up of your hands.
We're on
You know?
camera?
Yeah, you got to
Well,
get
I
this
don't
stuff-
know. Well, you know, when you get in the middle of one of them breaks,
That's a lot of work,
It's
yeah.
a lot of.
Brain
I
power.
couldn't play that the same way again if I wanted to.
No.
That just kind of happens.
Yeah, just
Does it
happens.
really? I mean,
Yeah.
what amazed me, I used to work for rock bands when I was in college and afterwards touring with them, and it amazed me that when you go see a rock show, you think that it's all spur of the moment and, you know, the band's getting into it.
Mhm.
Then you realize it's pretty mechanical.
Yeah.
And you could tape one show from one night in Detroit and it'd be the same in Cleveland, and the same.
Mhm.
Down to, I mean, the set was 97 minutes, night in, night out, including encore. And rock didn't have the spirit that I would argue that you guys play with.
Yeah, you know,
little
and,
bit more
and
emotion
that's
here.
that's one of the fun things about playing bluegrass. It's never the same, and we could play on stage, and just as easily play in somebody's backyard. Like Jay said, we're not plugged in; it's all acoustic, and so you know you can play in the back of a truck, you can play anywhere.
And when it's hot, you holler. Woo!
Yeah.
Marty, can you, one of the ironies in life that I've noticed, it was ironic, I was at a minor league basketball game tonight.
Slam.
The Slam,
Yeah.
exactly. We're going to televise it on Saturday. And I looked at the players who were, you know, in the top 300 in the country, but not enough to make the NBA. And these guys are still great players. All
Right.
were great college players, but they're struggling. And how is it, is it difficult in music? I mean, you guys are clearly as good as anyone out there could have been on.
Shucks. Yeah, you know.
Is that, I mean, I
that's-
hate to ask a personal question.
No, that's
but
true. Like Jay says, a lot of it has to do with politics, just like anything
Are you
else.
frustrated to be as good as at anyone at your profession?
Yeah, it is frustrating. You know, especially, you know, because I'll watch CMT and see these acts on there, and I'm thinking, man, these guys, you know, there's really, it's more production than talent. And it's just that they have a bankroll behind them and a good producer. And that's another reason why I'm happy to see, you know, these bands, Ralph Stanley, Dan Tominski, and, you know, Alison Krauss and the music that she makes. I'm glad to see them get some recognition finally, because they have talent. You know, it's very rare to hear somebody actually play the instrument while they're singing and pull it off.
In fact, this might just be surprising to many of the viewers. A lot of the famous musicians like Alan Jackson, Shania Twain, Garth
yeah.
Brooks, when they make their albums, the ones that actually record the music are former bluegrass musicians. Vince Gill's a former
Or current bluegrass musicians.
Stuart Duncan on the fiddle.
Yeah.
When Shania Twain, if she ever gets a divorce, do you have her phone number?
Do I have her phone number?
Jay does have her phone number, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. I told her not to call me anymore.
Okay.
You know.
Or as she said, you know, the day that I got call for, or what was it was a great joke from the Oscars, and I forgot it.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Let's do some fiddling. Fiddle and the banjo.
All
and
right.
then you're going to get a chance to work with a talented musician a little later on in the show, I understand.
Right, right.
Yes, yeah, we're going to, actually, I'm a music teacher.
Yeah, what are your day, tell me about yourselves during the day.
You first.
Okay, I'm a music teacher. Basically, I teach locally, and I also...
You work with a very talented guy, I understand.
Yes, and we would love to get him on television. His debut.
I saw him at a party
Banjo.
once, and he
Yes.
pulled it off, little
he just
dueling
gets nervy.
banjos.
Yeah, he gets nervous in front of the camera.
Well, I can see why.
Something the folks might like to know is that they go to my webpage. There's a festival page. The webpage.
Why don't we
is-
give the web page
Yeah,
plug?
it is jbuckey.com. Should be right there on the screen.
Look at that. How about that? I wonder
And-
who put that up.
and
Could
that'll
that be
give you-
a erstwhile student of yours?
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah, the one that's hiding behind the camera.
That's right.
But it'll give you the festivals locally in Vegas. In fact, we got one coming up in May, and also one at the Government Center.
Government Center, yeah.
Which is a wonderful spot to see a concert down
That is. I've been
I mean, really
aching
it
to
is.
play there ever since they built that. We finally got a chance. We'll be there Friday night at 8 o'clock, the Marty Warburton Band, and I don't have a website. But,
www.jbuckey.com.
but yeah, you can go to
aka
Jay's
Marty.
website and
Anything
find out what's
locally,
going on.
anything happening that's in the region, bluegrass-wise. A lot of free stuff, too. Every Tuesday night they have jams in Henderson, which is, just you can just walk in and listen to the music.
Where's it at?
At the rec center on, I forget the exact street. If you just go to the webpage, it's got it listed right
Yeah,
there.
you gotta go to the
Tuesday night
webpage.
They have a jam there.
That works.
Well, let's do some fiddle and banjo.
all right. What do you
Some
got
of
in
the
mind?
original music, they didn't have guitars and big basses and big production. They just had a fiddle player and a banjo player.
It's the original band.
The
Fiddle
original
and a
band.
What is a
Right
tougher instrument to play?
Oh, the banjo by
Oh,
far.
no. In fact, they need to turn that down a little bit.
No, I mean, what Marty does looks pretty difficult.
It is. It's
Not just for someone of
Oh,
Marty's
he's a
ability.
magician.
Yeah.
He's a magician.
I mean, I got 3 fingers going here. I got 5 strings and
Yeah.
a short string, and I'm
Yada,
using
yada, yada, yada.
I'm using everything
Well, this
here.
now the bow thing also.
Yeah,
appears to be
this is
difficult.
tough. In fact,
Yeah.
I could give you a quick lesson. I
Well,
could show
I
you.
would. Well, first of all, let me ask you
I
this.
think I'd like to see Trip play the fiddle.
I would
wouldn't you?
love
Well, I
to.
mean, with
I'd
my
like to see somebody
dexterity-
play the fiddle.
Yeah, with my dexterity and calculation should be.
Okay. Well, how about let me show you how to use the bow. What you do
Okay.
is you hold the bow on one end like that.
Okay.
I got a shot of that. Yeah, let's turn it over here just a little bit.
Okay.
You've never played the fiddle before, right?
I have not.
Boy, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. One.
You know, the key to being a good musician is obviously working with a good partner.
Wow, Jay, he's better than you.
My musical debut.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you
you
very
go.
much. A little
I
golf
like
clap
that
from
ending,
Carol.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can't
You know,
teach that.
really, the key is now. You don't pick up a violin in high school and expect to get girls. I mean, what's the song with this? I mean, guitar is where the women are.
I
At.
was forced to play this thing. In fact, my first one, I busted up.
Now, did you were you in a rock band growing up? Were you?
I was in rock and roll, yeah. And my dad remarried when I was 16, and my stepmom played the banjo. Very intrigued by it. I really liked the sound. And they said, why don't you go to bluegrass festivals? So I did that, and I was hooked.
Really?
I really liked the music. Now, I could play, you know, the classical style. You know, all that Bach,
Long hair.
Schubert, and all that. Yeah, the long hair music as we call
Yeah,
it.
basically the dead white guys.
But
Yeah.
yeah, with dead white guys. But I couldn't get into it. You couldn't dance to it. I couldn't make any money at it. But these guys were
Couldn't get
really
chicks.
jamming. I couldn't pick up chicks.
Yeah, I mean, you know that.
But now I fiddle around. See?
I've talked to your ex-wife. And she,
Okay, we're gonna do a tune called Sally Gooden.
Do that A or G?
A.
Oh, I gotta find my
Okay, well, he's
cable.
gonna change there. Sally Gooden is just a standard.
wait, hold
old
on. We've
fiddle
got
tune.
some. Now, what are you doing here?
This is actually, some people call it a cheater, but just changes the key of the
Yeah.
banjo. Where Jay, see, that's one thing about the fiddle. If you change keys, you have to change your hand position. This, I can just slap
So it's
this
a
on.
superior instrument. See, I'm always
I see.
waiting for that. Yeah.
So basically, it's much more.
Yeah.
Anyhow, this song is called Sally Gooden. It's a traditional old-time tune. I mean, this thing is old as the hills. And it's a traditional old banjo fiddle duet. Now, he's going to kind of back me up, and we're going to throw it back and forth a little bit, huh?
Yeah, and sometimes this tune's been known to go on for hours, so
Yeah.
we'll keep it down to like half that.
Okay.
It's on there somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, you guys. It's amazing that you guys just met today. You look like you've actually played together before.
Well, I went to his website, and he invited me on the show tonight, so...
Now, is this website going to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange soon?
Oh, yeah, it just might. How many students do you have? You have
They're in the
students all over
thousands.
the world.
I have people all over the whole world that enjoy my books. They're called the Virtual Band Bluegrass Method. And basically, they coordinate the
I
mandolin,
understand you were
the
big in the
fiddle.
Taliban. that you were their #1 bluegrass person.
No. I'll never admit that.
You know, in a couple of those caves, they had your
Yeah,
website.
his CD was playing, yeah.
I don't know anything about that, comrade.
Marty, what else do you do besides being a musician?
What I do, I save lives. I install fire protection, fire sprinklers. So this is a great break from the, the grind out there. So, yeah, I own Harmony Fire Protection.
Let's give it a plug out there.
Yeah,
Why don't
Harmony.
you give your phone number?
737-8331 for all your fire protection needs. Thank you very
And
much.
will you play an instrument as you install?
I would like to, but I need, at least one free hand. I'll sing while I install pipes sometimes.
Duct tape and thing. Now, Jay, the question of the hour. How many instruments do you play? We've already seen you.
He's a monster. Jay's a
A
monster.
couple dozen, maybe.
Really?
I mean, that's a lot, yeah. Professionally, maybe 8.
Yeah, Jay can play. He could play with any acid rock band in the country.
I
man.
could
He
sit in with anybody.
yeah.
Could you play hard rock?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give him a little
Well,
taste.
Let's do a little taste for some of my younger viewers. I used to work with those guys.
Really?
Yeah, back in the 70s in Boston.
Yeah, he's. You got to hear him on electric guitar. He
Joe
just
Perry is the
wails.
key to that band, by the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, so you've heard that song? You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's play a little bit of
Little
kinda-
blues.
Yeah,
Little
let's
blues.
change
Marty,
gears
do
here.
a little Aerosmith on the banjo.
Oh yeah, well, I could do some Deep Purple a little later.
Do a little deep.
maybe.
Come on, humor me just for a second.
Well, I'd have to pick up the banjo. I'm gonna let Jay show off here with some blues stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll mess
You'll
around.
like this. You'll like this. Yeah. That's got a groove to it.
Get into it. Sing one. I got blues in my water, blues in my coffee and tea. I got blues in my water, blues in my coffee and tea. And when I go to bed at night, blues get between my baby and me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I love them Rocky Mountains. Tell me it's way out there in the west. Well, I love the Rocky Mountains, way out there in the west.
Yeah, tell me some more.
Well, I got so many women there, don't know which one I love the best. One more time.
Jay, you got a solo. Look at that camera.
Yeah, the blues. Woo!
Okay,
Blues.
tough one. Know any Lowell George?
Who?
Lowell George.
Uh-oh.
Willing?
You stumped the band.
Willing?
Willie Nelson?
No, Willing. The song Little Feet.
Little Feet. Oh, stumped the band. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
we
know
have to
that.
get
You stumped us.
Okay, I'm going to have to get you guys back on my show, which is very similar to Doc's show, only the major difference is it's 30 minutes earlier. But I will have you back, and here's the project I'd love for you guys to do. To play a song, only do it in 3 different styles. Start at bluegrass,
Sure.
go to maybe blues, and then into rock. Can you guys do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you work on something?
yeah. There's a lot of songs that.
It'd be fun to see the transition through in a song. I mean, because that would be, from musicians, I would assume that'd be a pretty difficult task, but you guys seem
Not
to be
for
up
us,
no.
for normal musicians, yeah. There's a lot of songs. I mean, we do some Eagle songs and in bluegrass style, and there's I've heard Cyndi Lauper songs done by bluegrass bands, and some of the stuff works surprisingly well.
Now, I understand you were the Pizza Hut champions.
Yeah, we were. Thanks for asking. Back in '95, actually, we're the 1996 champions, and it's kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament, where you
Only a lot less money involved.
a lot less money, and you don't have to be as tall, and you go from one region to the next. And we ended up in Owensboro, Kentucky. Here we were, a band from Las Vegas, and it boiled down from 117 bands, and it boiled down to 8 bands, and we were one of them. And
So you went to the final 8 as well.
we went to the final 8, yeah, and we won. We won the thing. We
And
were-
after that, I went on to get 3rd place in the National Guitar Championship in 1999.
Yeah.
Now, you could, Jay, you got the talent where you could be a session musician in L.A. or Muscle Shoals or any of those places.
Well, I work for myself, though. With the web page, people really like my stuff. I can stay here. I don't have to.
And that would be
Do
possibly jbuckey.com, would that be?
I think it possibly could. Yeah.
And
I'll
Mike
memorize
is,
that.
obviously, Mike is a very good student because he gets that
Very,
webpage up
yes.
there very quick. The infamous jbuckey.com, and you know what I really like on the jbuckey.com is the jbuckey T-shirt, which I
You got a
at
J
home.
Bucky T-shirt?
I don't know.
Oh, no, come on, Jay. Don't.
Oh yeah. We got one.
You know, the picture of Jay, you know, put it on your wife or girlfriend in the morning, it'll really wake you up.
I'd like to get the J Bucky refrigerator magnet myself.
Refrigerator magnet, yeah. Up
Okay,
in the
gentlemen,
nice,
I've got a feeling since we have a new, that would be a mandolin.
Yeah, this is a cool little instrument. This is what happens to a guitar when it gets involved with alcohol and drugs, and it takes a guy like Jay to play it. What do you want to do? Up in the Night?
Let's do it.
This is a song that I wrote, and I named it Up in the Night because when I wrote it, I was up in the night. So,
well, it was a bunch of girls beating on your door, too, wasn't it?
That was the motel room
I've
door,
never
and that's
seen
a
sheet
different
music
story.
with crayons before. That was kind of neat.
Yeah. And that you finally got up and let him out.
I let him out,
Let
yeah.
him out.
The mandolin, for those of you at home, it's tuned
Which
just
is
like...
pretty much, since there are 3 of us here, would
Yeah,
be everyone else
there's
watching.
three. It's the fiddle only fretted, and you play it with a pick instead of a bow. It's strung the same and it's tuned the same, except there's 2 pairs of strings, and
It's a very difficult instrument to play.
very
Well,
difficult.
they're all hard to play, right?
Very, very-
Except the banjo. I mean,
Should we try this? Up in the Night. You want to break on it?
yeah. Marty wrote this one. It's a good song. Little Eagles right there.
There you go.
So that was kind of rock and roll.
Up in the
Boy,
Night.
I was
line
going to
there.
say, a little Eagles riff in there. Now, Marty, you indicated to me before the show that Jay has got literally thousands and thousands of seconds practicing to become this good, and really it's kind of the key to his success, it's just a lot of practice.
Well, you know, as he said, he's a teacher, and he, you know, he's one of the few guys that can make a living doing what he likes.
Yeah.
I think he likes it, but he gets to
Well, I
sit.
like it.
He gets to sit what 8, 9, 10 hours a day and play instruments. you know.
I've gone as much as 14 and 15 a day, you know, either
But
teaching and then
if
arranging.
you could do it, I mean, if you could sell your soul and become a millionaire rock star, would you do it?
Sure.
Yeah, honesty.
Is that in writing? No.
no, I mean, not
Well,
honesty and pact with
you
the
know,
devil.
rock and roll, as much as I like it, it loses something in the mix. There's sometimes I play with bands, rock bands, like the violin, and that's where I got a little pickup on the thing. And I find sometimes when I play with drums and all that, I'm out of pitch. And I have to wear earplugs to hear what I'm doing. It kind of distorts the music inside my head, and I don't enjoy that as much.
And you don't have a
What we're doing right here is fun.
What's
you
the
know?
biggest crowd you've ever played in front of?
In front of? 5,000 at least, I suppose.
What's that feeling like?
Well, it seems like the bigger the crowd is, the less personal it is.
Yeah, it's easier.
The smaller the group, the closer they are, the more.
Now, let me
nervous
ask you
get,
a crass, business-like question to jbuckey.com. Would you be available for events if people watching right now wanted to book you
Oh,
guys?
sure.
Yeah.
And they probably best way to go to martywarburton.com.
Yeah, if there was such a place. But you can get a hold of Jay. His email address is in there, and you can,
Yeah,
you know,
virtual
you can-
band.
But I recommend very highly getting in touch with you guys. I think would make for wonderful at a small corporate event or a party, that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
and
You've
we've
got
done
a
that.
great entertainer. You've probably gotten a little visage on their banter back and forth. They're a lot of fun. All their lines are scripted out on cue cards.
Yeah,
But
right.
Nonetheless, they're a lot of fun. We've got a minute left. Let's go out with a song. Thanks for letting me fill in for Dr. Volmer Franz. He is at the world premiere of Astro Zombies 2. So we're going to go
Means
out in a
prayer.
song. We got 1 minute left, guys. Have some fun real quick.
Okay, let's do a little.
Jay Buckey, Marty Warburton.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you
having
very
us.
much. And I'm going to have you back on my show, and you'll find
And we'll
out
do that. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes shorter.
Great.
Okay, just a little slower. One,
Little tearjerker.
Tearjerker.